of the nervous bleating of goats, to then find a large crocodile approaching his camp. The primordial lizard attempts to steal a goat for dinner, and Zweihard valiantly tries to save it. Sadly, his attempts are futile, but he manages to slay the beast and have goat with a side of crocodile for his own dinner. He continues his journey, and the next evening he finds a small camp of hobgoblins near Blacksteel Keep. He manages to sneak up to the camp and summons a dust devil on their campfire. The unfortunate creatures are soon slain or scattered, and Zweihard takes a look around the camp and finds various weapons and steel manacles. Zweihard pushes on towards the keep to warn them of his disturbing encounter so close to home. He spends the next few days smelting the manacles and reforging the metal into fine dwarven axes with Doomhilda, experimenting with the warp wood spell and waiting for the crocodile to be made into something useful. One day he receives word that a goat herder named Grace has gone missing, so a concerned Zweihard goes looking for her. During his search, he finds an old abandoned village and discovers Grace alive but trapped under a collapsed entryway to a mine. After extracting Grace, he explores the mine further and finds a long dead grell. He also spots something glittering deeper down the mine, but decides to exit. Zweihard and Grace return to the keep, and Zweihard decides it may be best to seal up the mine he found in case there are more grell within, despite the village being on the border and probably not in his family lands. So he enlists the son of Ziggy to aid him and returns to the old village. Before he seals the mine once and for all, Zweihard's curiosity leads him to investigate the glimmering objects he noticed before, and discovers the source to be tiny mithril nubs. He finds more mithril as well as signs of vicious carving on the walls, and decides to take what little they found and leave for now after sealing up a suspicious corridor. Will the new mithril mine cause a diplomatic incident? What lurks in the darkness of the ancient mine? How long until Zweihard trains a goat army? Let's find out now on Dicing with Death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How are you doing today, Ryan?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Life couldn't be better. I have no real complaints. I'm happy.
Do you have some fake complaints?
Oh, dude, do I have the fake
outrage for the entertainment of the internet?
All right, so I got these fucking studio lights in here, but one of them, they've got like two switches on the back because they got 4 plugs in them, and one of them like used to have one of the switches sort of work, and now it doesn't even work at all. And so like if there's too many, I have like 2 lights in one and 1 light in the other, so I have bright lights and dim lights, and now one of them doesn't work. So every time I need to change the lighting in the room, I have to like fucking unscrew a light bulb and screw it into the other socket. What a
Return
bitch.
That shit. Or did you?
These are like 5 years old, 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, they're ancient.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
See, the problem is you've got the lights behind the camera. What you're really supposed to do is have the lights behind you so that you are backlit and consumed by the light that enshrouds us all.
Oh, okay. So I should just like, oh god, I don't have a cable length to do this. Nope, that would break everything.
Okay, well, between the breaks, we'll get it sorted out. We'll have you looking backlit. We'll have your cameras saturated in no time.
All right.
Your skin will be looking pasty and horrifying as ever.
I'll be as Irish as I can be. All right. This stream is definitely not sponsored by Ireland anymore.
This stream is definitely not sponsored.
So here's where you are, Ryan. You're in a mithril mine, or just having left a mithril mine.
Indeed. Myself and Ziggy the Fourth, or something like that. I don't know what happened to Ziggy 2 and 3, but...
Well, his father is Ziggy 3, but you just call him Ziggy, right?
Yes.
So technically, he's Ziggy 3. Okay.
So we have escaped the spooky breeze of the mine. Ooh, and made our way surface side. I think it's nighttime, right?
Yes. Probably by now, if it wasn't already. Yeah.
Yeah. Our eyes wide as dinner plates. And I think our both me and Ziggy are grinning uncontrollably as we look. I think I'm like hunched over, and we're looking in his open hands where he has 3 nice juicy nugs of mithril.
Yeah. Ziggy's looking at him going, I've seen little bits of mithril here and there, but never held the raw mithril of the earth in my hands before.
Nor have I. I don't think any dwarf in these hills has touched raw mithril in generations. I hold my bogwood axe closer, still shedding a supernatural light. I do have some mithril gear. My helm is lined with mithril, and my halberd is forged of mithril. But a new source of mithril ore is
ain't nothing.
A treasure worth keeping secret.
So go for it.
What's my first impression of the ore that he has mined? Does it look? Can I get
It's a small
rough
amount.
estimate of how much?
Yeah. Each of these 3 little polyps that you've knocked off is maybe a little less than a coin of mithril each. So you're looking at a truly small amount, but it's definitely indicative of more to come.
I got like 7 mithril coins in my pocket. That's that won't do me. These 3 coins won't do any good.
Yeah. So you're sitting, staring at the fire in the mithril.
I think we're standing out front of the mine. We just collapsed, or I just collapsed the that slope to the lower level. So we think it's reasonably safe.
Yeah.
We hear a howling of wolves.
Not unusual in these hills.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I'll be sleeping tonight. Perhaps we should just march back to the keep. I look at Ziggy and try to gauge his energy level, enthusiasm.
At the present, his energy level's quite high, and his enthusiasm is through the roof. It'll probably wear off when you get a few miles down the road.
Yeah, it would basically be an all-nighter of walking.
Right. But as of this moment, he is so pumped. He's so pumped.
All right, and I think cue an all-night trudge back to Blacksteel Keep. In which his pumpedness subsides. Does he turn the mithril over to me, or is there an... Okay.
I guess he doesn't do it you have to ask him, but he will willingly with no problems.
I think it's like as we're loading up the goats to go. I'm like Ziggy, you're still holding the ore. Why don't we put it in the saddlebag here?
He
empties his hands.
Puts it in the saddlebag, kind of bashfully.
You'll need your free hand for that axe if those wolves decide to get any closer.
And off you go, back towards Blacksteel Keep. Other goddamn D10. There it is.
So we basically just did 2 back-to-back days, right?
You hiked all the way there, and now you're hiking all the way back.
It's about 6 hours there. I think we took a small rest at dinner time, reached the mine, but we basically forced marched through the night. And I wasn't, I didn't have the forethought to try and memorize any spells to lighten our load. So we're probably quite exhausted.
Yeah. Along the way, your words are a little, prophetic is the word I'm looking for. Because as you are walking, you most certainly do catch sight of a pack of maybe 6 wolves on a hillside nearby, backlit by the moon, looking down at you.
By now, I think the light of my on my axe is worn out. I don't have any fire or anything. So I just Ziggy, wolves, and I will ready my halberd, and we'll keep moving and see what these beasts do.
Okay. You do not engage them. You are remaining indifferent to them.
Dusting off yield encounter tables or yield reaction adjusts.
Yeah, I recently went back and analyzed the table and made some changes to it to make it more in line with how I think it should work. And now I feel much more happy using it, now that I've sort of figured out what all the percentages are and everything. The wolves maintain their indifference to you. And it's good that you're armed and ready. They watch you walk by and then wander off, probably to go eat some squirrels or groundhogs or rabbits or grell.
Something less prickly.
Yeah.
Or more tentacles.
You find your way back. That's not where you're going. You're going to Blacksteel Keep. Back in Blacksteel Keep, somewhere a little bit before dawn. Maybe just around dawn. I bet you're not going at your full pace all night long. But the exhaustion wears on you. You're here, back at the keep. You get let in without any problems or fanfare. And I guess once you get in, Ziggy looks at you and goes,
I think it'd be best. I think it'd be best if we keep what we found to ourselves. At least for now. At least till we decide what to do with it.
I won't tell Father. I promise.
I nod thoughtfully and probably wander off with lost in my thoughts.
Yeah. I think you find a warm, cozy bed and plop down in it. Yeah.
Not before unloading at least the mithril from the saddlebags. And I probably plop down with an armful of mithril ore.
All right.
Maybe not quite full.
You go to sleep. You wake up sometime the next day. Actually, probably sometime later that same day. After getting maybe a good 7 or 8 hours of sleep through the morning and into the early afternoon. You rise.
I rise and remove my holy symbol and go through my prayers to Seor. Specifically, making the preparations to purify this ore. Probably bless it as well. I'm sure it's already blessed. Maybe the ore will bless me, but in any case, I'll.
You will purify the ore?
Yes. Although that involves smelting. Maybe another thing I'm thinking is to try and design a spell to help me find more of this. So, like a detect minerals. Is that already a spell? Let me look at it might be a wizard spell or something like that.
Maybe. I do sort of feel like that probably...
That sounds like, as it came out of my mouth, it sounds like that. You think that's broken?
Yeah, like overly strong.
I mean, most of the detection or like the find spells are quite useless because their range is so limited.
Mm-hmm.
So like the find animal or whatever, like locate person, it's like got a couple 100-yard range. Like how are you supposed to find a person?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And so imagine like a locate or spell that has a couple 100-yard range, and maybe it doesn't even pierce much dirt, right? You're basically just following. I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering what those halflings were planning on doing, right? They had all this mithril, and their plan was using it to seek out the rest of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing anything that will find anything.
Locate animals or plants has a range of 100 yards plus 20 yards per level. I don't see why.
There is one spell. It's called Commune with Nature. It's a cleric spell, a 5th level cleric spell.
5th level. This enables the caster to become one with nature. I'm not trying to become one with nature. I'm just looking for some mithril here, bro.
But if you read it, that's the only one that does it.
It's being empowered with the knowledge of the surrounding territory. You can know one fact about the following subjects: ground, plants, minerals.
Yeah.
Water.
So you got to become one with nature, man, before you can like find the minerals. Now, detect Vesphain gas is a much easier spell. You just kind of sniff around.
I feel like this is akin to locate animals or plants. Just in most D&D campaigns, animals and plants are probably more valuable than...
But also, locate animals and plant spells are usually blocked by a few feet of dirt. You know, most of the locate spells are blocked by a few feet of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes locating minerals particularly difficult.
Okay. Well, I spend some time thinking about researching this, but I don't have any money, so... We'll see. Okay. So I guess let's just smelt down this mithril. So we use our purify ore spell, which is I think basically just a flavor spell at this point. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it allows you to. Does it allow you to smelt without like a forge? Is that
the purify metal spell?
Yeah, purify metals. Removes. Yeah.
During the process. So it's got to be cast during forging or smelting.
Okay. So I don't know mechanically what it actually does. But it feels good to cast.
Okay.
It probably improves the yield, maybe.
Yeah.
I can get more mithril out of these rocks. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, like that little bit of mithril that oxidizes on the top and gets scraped away.
Mithril doesn't oxidize, isn't that the whole...
It doesn't, but I'm trying to make an analogy between, you know, how it could... There could be parts of it that are stuck to rocks or are somehow alloyed or compounded that get separated out with the purify spell.
Okay. So we purify it. I'll stop by the temple and get some holy water so I can bless this whole process. And mint myself a couple of mithril coins. Is Dunhilda around?
Yes, she is.
So I will go into the Holy Forge. And I suppose we'll trust Dunhilda, even though I have no idea where she came from or how she ended up in this forge. But apparently the gods have sought fit to cross our paths, so she can share our secrets.
So, Dunhilda's in your forge.
Yeah, Dunhilda, I say, stumbling in well afternoon.
Look at this axe I've been making while you've been gone. It's fantastic. Look how well I rolled on everything.
Can I? Oh, this is we already rolled this axe, right?
Yeah. I'm
probably prepared to like shrug her off. Oh, that's nice. Oh,
wow,
that is a nice axe.
Mhm.
I take another appraising look at Dunhilda, wondering if she's like smarter than I gave her credit for, or if this is just beginner's luck.
Mhm.
This is magnificent. You've got a matched set. And I think we already role played out the.
Yeah, she looks at you with
Maybe
pride.
a great dwarf can dual wield these later. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
I also have a magnificent object of art to share. Not my own, but a creation of nature. And I pull out like these rocks.
She just looks at the rocks at first, not understanding.
Do you
And
know
then
what this is?
as the light from the fires in the forge catch the little bits of mithril, her eyes begin to go wide.
Mm-hmm.
What? Where did you find this?
Shh. That, for now, must remain a secret.
She nods slowly. Where did you... What? Is there more?
I nod slowly. Underground, but it might not be safe. There was evidence of Grell activity. How old is Dunhilda? I guess she's a dwarf, so she's
a youngish dwarf. She's like a good 40 years old, maybe 50 years old.
So she would have been alive when the Grell attacked.
Yeah, she was around for this a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, of course. This is just a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I've sealed off the mine for now. I must meditate and pray on this matter.
Does the Thane know of this?
No, this is new information. Well, he knew I had been looking for it, but I don't think Einar ever quite believed. Now he's off gallivanting around the hills, rooting out hobgoblins.
It would probably be unwise to bother him with such details at this time.
It is presumptuous of you, Dunhilda, to give unsolicited advice to your vizier.
Her head drops and she takes a few steps backwards, keeping a respectful distance, and mumbles an apology.
Now, have you ever... now you have smelted ore before, correct?
Yes.
Non-mithril. It melts at a much higher temperature, does it? Is that true?
Yes.
So we'll have to get a good forge fire going, even for this small amount.
She
to
nods.
the bellows.
And heads off to the bellows, yeah.
I assume here we have adequate coke to stoke our fires. No need to use magic to log of ever burning, min-maxing to extend the life of our forge fire.
I mean, you could drive to the grocery store that's a block away, or you could walk to the grocery store that's a block away. It depends on how efficient you want to be with your natural resources. So no, you don't need to log of ever burning any of this coke, but if you want to be the environmentally conscious dwarf that you are, or more accurately, you want to save some coke for later.
Dwarves ever been accused of being environmentally conscious? Maybe stingy, but
stingy. But that's not environmentally conscious.
Heat and metal doesn't produce enough heat to melt anything, does it?
Nope.
I still feel like it is underutilized in forging process.
Yep. You could probably get something soft enough that you could start to manipulate it, but it wouldn't straight up melt it.
Mm-hmm. What about like the fire of like magic fire? That's probably not even as hot as like a forge fire, right? So many spells I need to invent.
So many. One day we'll just do Orion's forging spell creation stream.
Just clog up your spell book with a bunch of useless spells.
We'll create like the secondary spell book, the Ryan spell book, and it's like Georg's Handy Measure, Purify Ores, Georg's Handy Measure Metric. There'll be just all sorts of creation and measuring and engineering tools that will have no practical purpose in any game Ryan's not playing in.
I'm even realizing they're not practical for the games that I do play in.
But they're fun to make, and I enjoy them, so let's keep making them.
I guess Log of Everburning is a first level enchantment. I don't know what sphere it is, but I have it, I believe. That just extends the duration. So I can use Log of Everburning to extend the duration of the coke that I do have.
Right. That way you don't have to keep using more and more.
Save.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll Everburn some coal, get a nice forge fire burning, use our crucible to melt down this mithril, probably grind up the ore, smelt it down, cast our purify ore, sprinkle some holy water in there and bless it.
Sounds good.
Dunhilda's probably looking at me like, this is not part of the smelting procedure, of any smelting procedure I learned in...
At first, she's definitely giving you those looks, but then, she's a cleric of her own. Or she's an apprentice. No, sorry. She's an apprentice, and she's been around the Johanna. She's been around these other things. She's getting to know you, and she's noticing that you are definitely, like, intertwining divine magic into this. And so her skepticism sort of fades into more of curiosity as she tries to understand what your spells are doing. And then over the process, as she goes to like shovel more coke in there and realizes that it's still burning, she like open the little hatch door and stare in wonderment and surprise. And Master Zweihardt, it's still burning.
If you construct the fire just right, you see the divine symmetry of the way I've stacked the briquettes. Can use much less material this way.
By stacking
a briquette
them?
saved is a briquette earned.
Of course.
It sounds much better in Old Dwarven. All right. So I think, there's a lot of chanting and mumbling in arcane Dwarven tongues that probably all those outside of the clergy do not understand anymore.
Yep, definitely. Eventually, it smelts down.
Yeah, I think we cast it into my little I had like a little cylinder mold thing that I was using to cast coins in.
Right.
So I probably got a mold that I might have needed to make again in sand, but that's pretty trivial. And we'll pour it in.
Okay. We'll just call it 3 coins. It's probably a little less than that, but for simplicity's sake, let's just say it's 3 coins.
Okay, maybe I purified it to get the little extra bit out.
There we go.
All right. So I now have 10 mithril coins.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've also got this mithril halberd, which I think it's 21 mithril coins, and I don't know how much I used in my helm, actually. I forgot to note that down. It was some odd number, I think. Did I have 40 total? So it's 29. Were there... I don't know. Don't actually know, but I like my helm, so I guess we can just keep it for now. So I guess if it takes 21 mithril to make a halberd head, 10 is maybe that'll make like a mithril knife or something.
Yeah.
And let's take a moment to go to our weight calculator. Have me tell you that it doesn't make any sense for like the 5th time, and you tell me yes, it does fine. You've just gotta type in the number. I don't know. Was this on? Can I find it from Regal Goblins?
Yeah, it's converter or metal costs, metal converter, something like that.
Toolbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Metal converter. So if I have, let's see, I mean, so a dagger weighs 1 pound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to put in a value? That shouldn't matter, right?
No.
1 pound is 100 copper to make.
Okay, so dagger is 1 pound, and mithril has the density is 0.28 relative to copper. So you'd need a little more than a quarter of a pound of mithril to make a dagger.
Okay, so I need 0.28.
You need
of a pound. So I need 28 mithril to make a dagger.
You need
right.
54.
This is way wrong. How did we end up with 21 in a halberd?
0.28 of 50 is what we need.
Where are you seeing 50 value of volume copper equal to 1 pound? Okay. So 50.
So you need 14 mithril coins to make a dagger.
Okay. How did I get so much? How did our halberd head get so? Did we just say it was really small and slender and twisted?
How many coins did it take to make the halberd head?
21.
How much does the halberd head weigh?
I mean, apparently it's equivalent. I mean, so that must be 21. I mean, so a little more than a pound. It must be. The whole thing is 4.5 pounds if it were made of steel, I think. But I mean, so we can take 21 divided by 0.28, right? Is 75 copper.
75 copper is 1.5 pounds of copper.
Yeah, so I guess the head is would be 1.5 pounds in a standard halberd.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that at some point we must have justified that. It's a magic halberd.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
We would argue about it again, I think, if we were to
it's fine. It's fine.
Halberd.
So you could make a knife instead of a dagger out of the coins that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Might as well do something with it, right?
Yeah. That'll only take 7 coins to make a knife.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll set aside 7 coins and start working on a mithril knife. Does Dunhilda also have a weaponsmithing proficiency? Oh, I guess that's what we've been using. Yeah, we haven't been doing armor smithing.
Yeah, she's the apprentice, so she's working on her weaponsmithing. She hasn't quite gotten to any armor smithing yet.
What does a hatchet weigh?
The whole total weight of a hatchet is 5 pounds usually. It might be a little heavy. I think real hatchets probably weigh like 2 pounds.
A battle axe weighs 3.5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
A hatchet is way less than that.
A hatchet weighs 1.25 pounds.
Okay, so
what is Depot.
What does it weigh in Neal and Dragons? Let's see. Weapons.
It probably needs to be updated in Neal and Dragons.
Are you using Home Depot as your reference?
Oftentimes when I need to find the weight of common tools that existed in medieval period and modern periods, I will just look up their weight on like whatever website is selling them and use that as canon. Because, there can't be that many changes in hatchet technology, right?
Yeah, a hand axe weighs 1 pound, according to Neal and Dragons, and a battle axe is 3.
Fucking nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
Okay, that's really light. So could I actually make a hand axe? I mean, if the handle's made of wood?
Yeah. You've got... Yeah, because you need 20... coins. You need 14 coins to make a full 1 pound item. Scrap the handle. Do you think a handle's about 1/3 of the weight? A little.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, like it's less dense, but it's a fair bit.
Fine, it's close enough. You can make a hatchet instead. We'll
I mean,
swing
if a
it.
third of the weight would be perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, even a little 10. I've got 10 out of 14.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. We're pretty close. Maybe we could say that you've got 70% of the weight is the handle. A handle's not 30% of the weight of the hatchet head, though. So maybe you'll do some decorative metals on the back to give it a little extra weight. Like maybe you can do the front of the blade in mithril and then like the back of it in iron or copper or brass or lead or something.
Or gold.
Or gold.
Yeah, do like a counterweight.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So like the blade itself is mithril, but I'm part of this weaponsmithing role. Will be coming up with a counterweight design.
Right.
That allows it to, function as a hatchet, whereas the business end is pure mithril, so it will still function as a mithril weapon, but yeah.
Yep.
What do I think would work best as a counterweight? Maybe silver, because I've got that, and it's looks similar to mithril. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll do. That will do, pig. That'll do.
Okay, and I think we'll keep using the. I'll probably try and make it match the bogwood axe in terms of design. So I'm going to try and make another handle out of bogwood.
Okay, we didn't make you roll a check for that last time, did we?
I did actually have to roll a wisdom check to warp the wood.
Oh, because it's the warp wood spell. Right. Okay.
So we'll do that after. For now, let's do some weaponsmithing to make this mithril halberd. I'll probably set Zwihilda to work with silver to do like the counterbalance maybe while I'm doing the main bit.
Yeah.
Got something to do. She can also, do I have iron? I've got 4 iron, so no, I don't have. Although I think we said we could procure iron. So maybe she's also practicing hatchets while I'm working with this mithril. All right, so let's do it. So this will probably be the next day, right?
Yeah, you melt the ore that day, purify it, rest again to be fully restored for the real work. And there you go.
Okay. So let's roll some weaponsmithing checks.
Let me open up my document.
I should really devise a way to improve this crafting efficiency. I don't know if there's like a spell or something that's kind of metagaming to like boost these skill check rolls. But there are similar spells for many other skills.
Yeah,
or stats.
There's Call Upon Faith gives you a +3 to your very next roll involved in some task.
Yeah, I don't have access to that sphere. I think we talked about this, remember, right? It was something stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where you justified it. It's like, is it enchantment?
No,
or
it's by
it's
sphere.
Creation?
Yeah.
Sorry,
no,
it's creation.
But you have creation.
I have creation.
Call Upon Faith must be one of them other schools.
Because I feel like this, like Sayor should have access to something that boosts crafting effectiveness. Either as a divine feature or as a spell.
I wonder what school Call Upon Faith is in.
We've had this discussion before.
We have, and yet neither of us remember the answers.
Yeah.
It is spell 657. Which is Sphere 20. which is summoning.
Okay. So you're calling upon it. You're summoning the faith.
You're summoning the faith?
I don't know.
Is that a typo? Did I make an error here?
No, I think that's right. I think we
Okay.
looked into that.
All right. So, do you want to make me a hardness and flexibility roll?
Yeah. So there's a hardness 29.
Ooh, that's
Flexibility
very hard.
fail. It's
Okay.
very hard, but not flexible enough, and it cracks or something.
Yeah, it's not the level of craftsmanship you're accustomed to anymore.
Mm-hmm. So we keep going. Maybe I could come up with a spell that's like steady hand or steady hand or something that gives a bonus on a crafting check, or maybe gives you advantage on a crafting check or something.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we'll just keep cranking away the old-fashioned way.
We'll do it.
All right, so this is the next day. Nope. Can I just start? Do I just start over with that
Yeah.
28? Right, if I fail the hardness, if it's not hard enough, I just start
No,
over.
they're in pairs, yeah. So if one of them doesn't
Okay.
work, you do the other pair the second time.
Okay, so if you fail the first one, you burn the second.
Oh, that does. I don't
Right.
know.
So should I be rolling 2d20s?
Yes, roll 2 d20s.
Yeah. It's another fail. So
Okay.
this is 3 days of work with the mithril.
It's not coming out right.
Yeah, but I think I'm enjoying the process. In the meantime, is Dunhilda cranking out a bunch of like epic tier iron axes or something? Or is
Dunhilda is actually doing a lot of, what is it called, like scut work. Like the forge needs to be cleaned. So like when you're done with things, she's up there like with a broom sweeping out the chimney, getting all the extra.
she'd really hire a
loose.
chimney sweep?
They're in short demand these days. You know, all the dwarves are off fighting battles, so Dunhilda's doing all the work here, refreshing the water, clean, like doing all the shitty stuff that you're like, oh right, I used to have
character
to do
building.
that. Yeah, now I'm a fancy dwarf. I don't need to do this anymore. Oh yeah, we have to haul water into this room by hand. It's a lot of stairs. Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
So
and I
she's
think by evening I can do my wood weaving. So I'll go ahead and I can make 2. I think I needed to make 2 successful wisdom checks to do it properly as well, right? So I'll go ahead and do wood warping. That's the first one's a fail. Ooh, critical fail. I probably snap a piece of bogwood. That I think, was this in limited supply, or is it
Wait, why are you doing 2d20 for the wood warping?
those are willpower checks to successfully warp the.
Do you need to make 2 of them?
I thought so. Oh no, you just had me make 1, didn't you?
Yeah, just make
So
me
actually,
1.
okay. So actually, yeah. So there was a success on that first day.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we just lumped in multiple spells into a single willpower check. Cool. All right, so that's 1, 2. That's 3 days, including the smelting.
Okay.
And then I'll be back to the forging. Ooh, with a critical fail. Are there any negative consequences to a critical failure?
Not on hardness and flexibility rolls, because at worst case you just melt it down again, right? It's not
Yeah.
like the metal will take on a new property if you beat it the wrong way. That won't be restored by melting.
No.
Okay.
Unless you like splash it on the floor and like lose it down the drain, or I don't know how punishing you want to be.
Maybe something like that, like Dunhilda hits you, like you spill the ore into the fires, and you have to cool the flames out and scrape all the ash and remelt it, and like you lose a day of work because Dunhilda bumped into you.
That was my critical fail, and you're gonna blame it on Dunhilda.
Yeah, that's like half the job of apprentices, is like taking the blame for other people's mistakes.
Should I roll a save versus death, or are we just gonna burn a day?
No, you just burn a day.
All right.
Fucking Dunhilda.
I probably have to go through the whole blessing and purifying ore again to like recover the mithril from the coals.
Yeah.
And probably every day we're doing a log of ever burning on the coal. To
Right.
good, responsible, sustainable foraging practice.
And then they just throw all the ash into the river that leads down to the town.
Yeah. So so that's 5 days down. Has anything happened in these 5 days?
Hold on. You spent 2 days there. 5, 6, 7. No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Has Ziggy said anything, or he's just kept quiet? And
you haven't even seen Ziggy in these 5 days. You've been so busy working on the ore and everything that, like, he just.
And
no idea.
I assume someone would tell me if hobgoblins were invading, or
you would expect
there was word from my brother.
Yeah, no news is good news.
So there we go. On day 6, I think we finally do it. So there's a plus 12 to those. So it's 26, 32.
Holy shit. 26,
Let's
32. 26 is nothing, but a 32 is plus 2 bonus to saving throws against breaking.
That's not even that cool, but
no, it's not.
Does that give any bonus on the sharpening stuff? Does it get a saving throw if you screw up the sharpening and roll a 1? I guess no, there's no. Yeah.
No. Balance, if you roll a 1 on the balance, it ruins the blade, but not on the sharpening process. So here's your balance roll.
Yeah, so here's a balance is a d20 plus 12. There's a 28.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't know if that actually gets me any bonus, but so we're looking.
Yeah, you only need to clear by 9 to crit.
Oh, nice. 26, 32, 28, and let's go ahead and just sharpen it.
Oh,
20 on the first roll, so a 32 on the sharpness.
Which is 10 attacks at plus 1 to damage.
All right. Mithril hand axe. Mithril blade with a. Do we think with the silver?
Yes, let me roll her silver check. So she's trying to like get the silver counterweight to attach to this other thing and make it look a little bit nice. She rolls. I don't actually. What are Dunhilda's rolls? I think I rolled them earlier.
I think they're
plus
you
10.
Did roll them plus 10.
But she just rolled lots of 20s and 18s and 17s. So she gets a 21 on her first.
That's probably
thing.
Fine.
It's fine. It's
passable.
not. It's functional. It's fine.
Mithril blade with a silver counterbalance and woven bogwood handle. Crafting these things like they're magic items, but I've yet to find a way to enchant them quite yet. Although I kind of think maybe we should put some of that off and like play with these natural enhancements
before. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so it's going to be, so the 26 is nothing. It's got a plus 2 save versus breaking, plus 1 damage on 10 attacks, and crits clear by. I don't have the table handy. Can you tell me what the
9?
It's clear by 9.
9.
Okay. All right. Not quite as slick as my bogwood axe, but still pretty nice. All right, and I will go ahead and 10 MP in the blade. Sweet deal.
All right, so you've got some good stuff here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and this will be my sidearm. Sweet. I think I want to come up with at least one other spell similar to that Hellish Halberd as like a minor enchantment for an item. I'm not sure what it would be, but something that like gives a weapon special crits or I mean, this mithril axe is probably of a sufficient quality that I can come up with a similar enchantment to that Hellish Halberd. So I don't, maybe something about its throwing properties, or I don't know. I'll think about it. Or if you or the viewers have any interesting ideas, we can mull those over. Cool. Anything else? Maybe this is a good spot to take our break. We also neglected to do experience last couple sessions.
Yeah.
We can do that at the end here or something. Or
we'll break, come back, do some stuff, and we'll do multi-day XP, or multi-session XP on the other side. Cool. All right, so we'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.